man må skylde fra hverandre, ikke sant? Man må få tid at hvis det er sånn at det skal være for den plattformen som dere skal ha noen måte garanti og sånne ting, så må man virkelig enig til det her som sender som type meldinger da. Du får en mail eller en melding på Facebook fra en som sier at du vil ikke få det mi. Så kan man eller en person spørre litt hvor det er da, så kan man logge seg på det, og så kan man se at vi ser at materialet av leggelsen eller IA-en ikke lenger fungerer. Så det, skjønner du? Det er også veldig ambisiøst, på en måte. For da må man implementere et eller annet som er kontakt på implementeringsgreier i det her reaktoren, og så går kostnaden opp, og så...
Ja, det skal ikke mye til før. Jeg tror på Wi-Fi nesten. En av meg. Ja, men det er jo fortsatt ikke særlig for de
ja, og hva man vil ha med det og det er ikke noe uttrekk, det er noe interface, det er noe grensesnitt på det ene. Det er noe fantastisk. Spots, det er plass på. Den er teknisk sånn da. Det skal den være.
Det må være et ubeskyttet nettverk da.
Ja, på en måte. Hvordan kan man sikre den dataoppføringen, hvordan kan man... Altså... Og så kunne det like vært via TV, men da må det kanskje være sikkert.
Ja.
Så det er så mange utfordringer med den der ideen der da. Som gjør at jeg tenker at det er ikke noe vi kan... Det er ikke noe å ta av på året. Det er jo når vi da tar har for eksempel 3-4-5 millioner på markedet, at det er viktig å ha en prosedyre på mange garantier og ting. Det er litt sånn den idé da. For jeg da, fordi det er så veldig ambisiøst, skal implementere, gjøre den målverden smart, og så kommer det noe til meg, eller kommer det noe til meg. Det kan stå for meg. Det er ikke liksom...
Ja, det med at det hadde det brukt.
Og så kan man skrive navnet sitt for sånn noe som passer inn her, og så putter man det inn her. Men den som ligger ute der, det får jeg ikke endret på, for det er...
Nei, jeg kan vise hvordan jeg gjør det. Jeg skal ha sånn 3D-printer-kurs nå. 2 minutter. Så da skal jeg lære opp folk i basic 3D-printing. Men jeg kan sikkert etter jeg er ferdig med det.
Det var 10 minutter.
Det var 10 minutter, du kommer tilbake senere. Jeg er til 17.30 i dag. Bare 17.30. Jeg skal ha kurs nå fra 15.30 til 17.30. Og så etter det så kan du bare komme inn.
Det er egentlig bare det.
Men kanskje jeg må dra hjem litt tidlig i dag.
Ja,
det kan se... Det får være.
Det som jeg gjorde når jeg skulle legge til tekst, for at det var noen som laget en Nintendo Switch Joy-Con-holder, sant? Det er en remix som jeg laget. Så den originale modellen, den hadde bare den her Nintendo Switch-logo. Og så la jeg til Hoya Gaming-logo på den. Måten jeg gjorde det på, det var at jeg brukte mesh-mixer og importerte STL-modellen uten logo, og så en STL-fil bare med teksten. Det kan du jo lage for eksempel i Thingiverse. Du bare lager teksten du vil ha, nettene størrelsen du vil ha, åpne den modellen i mesh-mixer, og så bare får du det passe inn.
Hva er mesh-mixer?
Det er et program du bruker for å redigere STL-filer. Vanligvis bruker du det for Form 2-modeller, altså Form 2-printere. Spesielt når du skal drive med hule modeller, fordi da må du legge til lufthull, sikkert eksplodere modellen på grunn av gass. Så det vil jeg ikke si hvis du skal begynne med Form 2-printere.
Men jeg skal prøve det ut.
Sjekk ut Mesh Mixer. Jeg har, hvis du bare søker på Thingiverse på HUA Gaming, eller HUA bare, det er den eneste modellen som har noe med HUA å gjøre akkurat nå. Så jeg lager en rask video på hvordan jeg, altså på YouTube som ligger ute på hvordan jeg gjorde det. Altså modda denne fila til å ha gaming-logoen i seg. Du kan sikkert bruke deler av det til hvordan du vil ha teksten din.
Yes, tusen takk.
Ingen problem. Bare plag meg på Facebook-gruppa også. Det er ingen problem. See you.
Da er det vel.
Yes.
Og hvis det er ideen, jeg tenker at det egentlig er et premiss for å jobbe med en løsning, fordi hva er formen med å ha det på nedsiden? Svaret på det kan være at applikasjonen skal ha
Skal på 3D-printing-kurs? Ja, super. Skal vi se om jeg klikker calibration. Vi hadde med å printe den til Cutting Edge Festivalen. Så den er litt... Det er litt sånn kinkende. Jeg må bare finne et papirbit som jeg kan bruke til calibration card. Hvorfor er det med ikke det hele tiden? Jeg har helst noe som litt med glass i.
Ja, det skal være sånn.
Ja. 3D-printing?
Is this the 3D-printing?
Yeah, 3D-printing. So I'm just going to use this as a calibration card. This is old membership card for TechSnap from 2014.
Kurset? Jeg vet ikke.
Yeah, there's a 3D-printing course now. It's going to be just basics you need to be able to print on your own without supervision. You should be taking
Supervision, so I can print
without,
weapons, right?
You can print whatever the fuck you want, as long as it's below 12 hours in PLA or below 30 milliliters in 40.
Awesome.
Yes.
Do we have to sign something? Like,
No.
Do we gonna get any proof?
I'm going to write down the names of everyone who took the course.
Nicknames or you need student number?
I need student names.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's just an internal list that we have just to make sure that nobody's printing stuff that...
I'm Attila, by the way. You're a teacher or student? Or
Yeah, right now I'm a teacher. I just graduated Super Master.
As
the University Design Master. Whatever. Er det mange her som skal på 3D-printing-kurs? Nei. Okay. So it's year 4 right now. Okay, cool. Then that's good. Through all the basics then. I'm also live streaming this so that you can look at the footage later if you need on YouTube. So that's nice. Okay, first thing I'm gonna teach is how to do basic build plate calibration. Sometimes it gets uncalibrated because it's basically just resting on these and a point back here. So these points has to be leveled sometimes. But before I do that, actually, I'm going to wash this because sometimes, like this, when we brought these printers to a Cutting Edge Festival, they get a bit dirty because we use a lot of glue. So then we had to just wash this. Oh, okay. So I should bit. It's fine. It's fine. So what you do if there's a lot of glue here, like this, you take it off, take it thing, and you just use hot water. You don't need anything else, no soap or anything.
yeah, we have to watch this between nice people, or
because this layer of glue, if it's too thick, it's basically another layer of plastic,
and
then your whole model is skewed by one layer, which is gonna fuck it up. Hey, 3D-printing kurs. Okay, so I just took off this glass plate now to show that sometimes you need to wash them because some people are dirty fuckers and don't wash the glass plates. So sometimes it gets quite a lot of glue build up, and that glue is basically another layer, which is going to skew your whole model by one layer up. Hey, 3D-printing? Okay, good. I'm going to repeat myself one more time then. So, what I just did now, I've just started the course. I just took off this glass plate from the printer in order to wash it, because sometimes people don't wash them and a thick layer of glue is on the plate and you have to wash it off. Right now I think there was like 5 or 6 layers of glue. Just use some hot water and get it off. Unless you want your whole model to be skewed by one layer, basically, because the glue can be quite thick. And it's very important to get it completely dry afterwards, because you don't want to have any water between the heated metal plates and the glass, because then you can have gas buildup, which could result in exploding glass everywhere. And no prints. So, and I see they have removed the paper now. Yeah, you're going to get the basics today so that you are able to print on your own without supervision, which is handy. So I'm just going to lay it down on some paper towels.
But do we have a dishwasher?
No, you have that sink. That's all you need. You will also be needing that sink when printing with PVA and PLA. I'm going to go into that later. So it doesn't need to be completely clean, just clean enough so that there isn't a thick layer of glue on the plates. You can have some glue residue on the plate and still be able to print, but if it's like a centimeter thick, you will have a bad print. Let's go! Just show this to the people at home. So just put it back like this, secure it with this too. Done! Clean plates. Now I'm going to show you how to calibrate the build plate, because sometimes you need to recalibrate it. If, for example, your prints are coming out messy on one side and good on the other side, then it's kind of unlevel. So you go to maintenance, you go to build plates, and then it will guide you through the whole process on the screen here. But I'm just going to show you it. So. Okay, so I'm just going to take this card, because the calibration cards we had is gone. I'll put this down here. Then we're going to rotate this wheel until it's about a millimeter away from the card. This is just raw calibration before the fine calibration, so it's, you don't have to be exact. Okay, it's fine.
How do you calibrate? Like, what's the parameters for that? Like, do you just place that card in?
You will see soon. Right now I'm just having like a millimeter between the card and the nozzle. Now use a sheet of paper to fine tune the build plate level. So still with the card, I'll take it, then I'm going to fine adjust it. It's kind of like cracking a safe. Okay, so now it says that you have to slide the paper between the build plate and nozzle until you feel a bit of resistance. So not too tight and not too loose either. So yeah, so what I usually calibrate it to is like this. So you have to get the feel for it. So
Can I get a feel?
yeah, everyone has to go with a couple fingers like this and just move it to feel what that feels like. Hey. Yeah, you can't like make shooting weapons or
Yeah, but shooting weapons are quite complex, right? So we just print some parts.
So I mean, have you seen shotguns you can make from a steel tube and
But those are parts.
yeah.
So I print the tube, I print some stuff. You know, that's not a
I mean,
relevant.
if you want to print again, you will usually just print that air between lower and just get all the parts and register.
It sounds like that's a scary.
No, I mean, if you really want to have some good shit, you go to the ammunition distributor and buy a printer for air lower. So you put a piece of metal inside it, print it lower, then register it, and then you go eBay and buy all the other. That's the best way.
Okay.
Then you have totally complete, accurate weapons, and you can use this metal. And you can make as many as you want. And all you need to do is buy one chunk of metal for each gun.
Okay.
And no serial number, and it's totally legal in America. Anyways, so everyone got a feel for the card?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna have the same feeling back here as there and there. So between, it's a bit loose. It's a bit more loose than back there. So I'm gonna adjust it by tuning these. Again, it's like tracking a safe. I'm trying to get the same feel on all 3 points. Yeah, so that's fine. Same for that one. Oh, it's a bit loose there. Someone has been tinkering with this. Okay. It's fine, it's fine. So that's the whole calibration done. So now we have washed the glass plate. We have calibrated it. And you don't usually need to wash it every time or calibrate it every time. I'm just showing you how to do that because that is usually the thing that goes wrong first. I can fix that later. Anyways, so let's take some material changes. So here are some rolls that are, I mean, there is barely any material left here to print. I'm just going to show you what that looks like. If you try to print with a roll that had this little material left on the roll, unless you're printing something like a small die to play some game, then you will end up with a half of print. Or tenth of a print. Yeah, you can. If you are fast and are able to pause the print while it's still printing with material, then you can change the material midway. That's how we can also make like rainbow colored prints that start off with one color and then you pause it when you have enough material and then put on the new row and repeat, and then you will have like a whole rainbow of colors. You can also make custom G code so you can make the printer stop itself. So you can just come back whenever and replace the material and then go back on. Anyways, so I'm just going to use this for demonstration purposes. In order to change material, you go to Material, Change, and then you wait until the printer head is heated. Right now, this printer thinks that there is some material in this tube, but we took it out before the Cutting Edge Festival, where we was with this printer recently, in order to make it easier to travel with in a suitcase. Because this roll holder takes a bit of volume, so we have to remove it. Right now, power went out. That's cool.
When this happens, do we have to recalibrate everything again, or?
Yeah, usually not. But I mean, it takes just a couple of minutes, seconds, really. So you're doing yourself a service later on if you just calibrate it for every print, if you're unsure about the quality. If you see that, for example, this printer here, it's finished printing, you can see the quality of the print. So if I were to set a print on this printer, and I see that the print looks like this, then I will basically say, okay, this printer looks like it's calibrated. This is a good print. I don't need to do anything more with this printer. And it looks like there's just a little bit of glue, so I will probably just toss in the print right away. I don't need to do anything with this. So, but if you see a printer that's totally empty, like this one, you might have to recalibrate it just to be sure that you don't get a fucked print.
Are we gonna separate the print from the platform with the
I'm gonna show that works. We have some spatulas that we use to kind of like hand takes. Chuck it in under the plastic and flip it out. There's one. Okay, back to material changing. We're gonna change. It's gonna heat up the nozzle here to a temperature where the plastic inside the nozzle can escape and be dragged out with the rest of the plastic in the tube. Because there is no plastic right now, it's probably gonna just drip out of the nozzle. What's left? I think I'm gonna repeat this 2 times just to show you how that looks like. Okay, so now you can hear these gears inside there rotating. There are 2 gears here that is pushing the material up and down. And right now it thinks that there is a lot of material in here. There's none, so I'm going to do this 2 times. Before you put on material, be sure that you have selected a roll that is the correct roll. This is PLA, 190 to 230 degrees. There are some types of plastic that are higher in temperature. For example, some PLA types are 250 to 270 degrees. If you want to use that kind of PLA, you need to use custom settings on this printer, because this printer thinks of PLA when you select it as PLA from 190 to 230 degrees. If you're trying to put on anything else, you won't get a print because it will have a nozzle that is too cold. And this is PLA. We also have ABS, but I've hidden them away in the closet because some people are not reading the labels and are putting on any roll they can find. And ABS takes 250 to 270 degrees as well. So yeah. Remember to
Use
put
custom material, like I bring something from home or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you need ABS, you need to have sort of a good reason, because ABS is non-degradable. PLA is degradable plastic that is environmentally friendly. If you need ABS for something, you should ask us, because if you just want to use it for some test prints, you should use PLA instead. When you put the roll on, you put it on like this, not like this, because then it has to go like over and then, yeah, it's kind of a struggle. So you're just gonna place it into this small metal hole there, and it usually just falls out. So I tend to just hold the plastic in the hole there while I press here. And it says remove material with the nozzle ready, and then it's gonna give us a selection screen. So right here, there's a bunch of different metals you can select: ABS and CPE and PC and whatever. We're gonna select PLA. Yeah, and once we press the red button now, the gears in here will start to turn. I'm just gonna help it in the tube, and it's gonna travel. And it's gonna stop around here, and then go slower for the final part of the journey. This power plug is yeah, that's not good. Yeah, okay, let's do it one more time then. Change. Okay, remove material. Done that. Place a new roll on. Stick the plastic in the hole. Ready? PLA. Ready? Okay. Now I'm not going to touch the power plug.
Yeah, but I can.
Okay, so now it says wait until the material comes out of the nozzle. So you just have to wait until it comes on spaghetti out of the nozzle now. And you can see the ridges of the in the plastic that the gears has made. And you can use this to see if the plastic is moving or not. If it's not moving, this nozzle is probably clogged, and you have to do the atomic method. I can show that later, where you basically set the temperature of the nozzle to 260 degrees manually, take out this tube and push material just down into nozzle to clean out the blockage. I'm going to show that afterwards, maybe. I'm just going to wait. How many of you have computers with you? You have? Good. I can put you in groups then, so you can collaborate on some models for our first print. What?
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Can we just use that?
I think all of you should have at least a small print that takes around 6 to 10 minutes, just to see how it works from start to end. And then after that, I can help you out with any project you have. Not guns, or any other type of weapon. So. Sorry. And here we see that the previous color that was on this printer was yellow, and you can see the you can see the green color where the blue and the yellow is mixing. So that's cool. And we're gonna wait until the color is clearly blue, like now. And it's not that hot, so you can actually touch the plastic out here. It's not that dangerous. Just don't touch the nozzle. Check ready, and you're done. And now this printer is ready to do a print. Where's the other? Okay, so I'm gonna just put on a small print right now, because I'm gonna show you how you glue the glass plate. So I'm gonna just print this one. This is a print we did for cutting edge. It's 11 minutes long, so it's quite quick. It's not blue left. Okay.
That one is 11 minutes, that's what you said.
No, this one is 11 minutes. It's on the SD card here. It was made by someone on Cutting Edge Festival in Minecraft.
Is it the size or the complexity?
Both, actually. You can downscale it, and you can also select options in the Cura, which we're going to go into shortly, where you can select a different
Which program is it?
This is Tinkercad. This is just sort of a browser-based modeling program. It's the most basic modeling program you can find. You can also use different programs that the school is giving out to students, like AutoCAD, Fusion 360, and yeah, a bunch of other programs. We also have Fusion 360 on those two computers over there, or should have. I can fix that if you don't have it.
Which file types does this printer understand?
This understands just G code, so you have to use Cura to translate from STL or GXT or whatever the fuck you have, object files like OBJ, for example, into G code. I can show you that afterwards. First you need to have some model that you have made. Okay, so use a bit of glue, one bit of glue here, because it's gonna put a little bit of plastic there to calibrate the nozzle first, and then we're gonna put some plastic here. We don't need to cover the whole plate because this is a small print. There's just gonna be a little block in the middle there. And now we're gonna just wait for the nozzle to heat up. And after it started, you should stay with the printer for at least 5 minutes or so, just to make sure that the print is not doing bad, or print is not functioning or something. Because if you, for example, have the start of a bad print, where, for example, the plastic is stuck in the gears or something, you can end up with having a printer on for 12 hours. Heating up plastic that is in the nozzle for 12 hours, making a blockage with basically vulcanized plastic, which is a real hassle to try to get out. Because then you have to basically put the nozzle in acetone for a couple of days and then heat it up and try to get out the plastic. Yeah, pretty good. Very bra. Fortsatt hodepine? Nei, we're good. Vi bare trener dem i 3D-printing, som du setter på en gammel printer fra Cutting Edge. Yeah. Okay, so while that is heating up, could you... Is it space for all of you guys? Try to find some space. Sit on the couch, get a chair or something. And those of you that have computers, go into Tinkercad. 2 seconds. Go to tinkercad.com and make an account. And I will show you how to model things. And then once you've made a simple model, we can do a test print.
I think it's simple. So the point is to have something simple, right?
Yeah, something that we can scale down to around 10 minutes and just print it, and then you can see how it looks like.
10 minutes.
I'm going to show you. Just start modeling first. Whatever you want. And then we're going to use Cura afterwards. You just have to like Google Cura and you will find it. Alright.
Fant du name-taggen din forresten?
Hæ?
Fant du name-taggen din?
Ja! Den lå sammen med printerne. Så det var litt artig.
Men når jeg skulle sjekke, så var det en nametag i printeren, og så trodde jeg det var din.
Ja.
Og så hadde jeg faktisk lagt den der, så det var min.
Så la du taggen din da? Så la du taggen din da?
Min tag?
Ja.
Jeg har den med meg.
Ah, okay. Ja, det er litt morsomt å ha liggende. Okay, there you go. Alright, so now it's starting up. So first it's gonna put a small blob of plastic right in the corner there. And you don't want that little bit of blob of plastic to be dragged into the model. So I usually just take something like this and just hold it down. See? There we go.
And interesting. That doesn't look as good as it should be. So what has happened here, I think, is that it's too tight. I'm just going to loosen a bit. Okay.
Tror jeg gjør ting halvveis, eller? Ja, tror jeg... Det er så spennende å høre. FDS-en har vært sånn sjukt over. Hvorfor får jeg det? Jeg vil ha et A4 med hva vi skal gjøre.
So this I have to recalibrate, so that's good. Well, just select, okay, so in order to stop a print, if you see that it's malfunctioning, you go to tune and abort, and yes. So this was a bit too tight, so I'm going to loosen it up a bit. Some of this print will have small adjustments you have to do. I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to use this actually to remove the residue of the plastic. This is the sharp one, yes? It has been used in Form 2 plastic, so this is really sticky. You should use gloves when you work with Form 2 plastic. So I'm just going to put that there. Okay, this is not sticky. Okay. You just take it like so. This is just PLA, so this can be tossed into the PLA bucket over there. Turn this. ABS and we're going to recycle it into new rolls of plastic. Yeah, this is clean enough. I'm going to do the calibration process one more time so that we can try again with a slightly looser fit. Should be good. See, there are some plastic rests in there. We have to remove that. So we don't get that calibration. Once we have the calibration down on this printer, it can print for weeks without having to be recalibrated. So that's cool. Okay.
What if our plane takes like 18-20 hours? Can we just leave it here and come back next day? And if our print takes more than a day or 20 hours?
If you have a print that takes more than 12 hours, you have to ask us for permission because we don't want the printers to take more than 12 hours usually. If you have like a school assignment or something that requires the print to be over 12 hours, then we can of course give you a pass on that. I can show you an example of a really long print we recently had. This is a film to place in a band, and he really wanted to have his music on an LP record, like vinyl record.
So you printed out a record?
Yes. You kidding?
Shit, seriously?
We haven't tested it yet actually. I have to clean it out and remove the supports, but we are really hopeful.
How did he manage to actually get the
Python programming. Waveform do file into Python, convert into STL file of a vinyl plate with the ridges.
So it has to be very detailed, right?
Yeah, this
Is
was
that accurate?
over 8 million triangles, and we actually had to use a Macintosh because the only version of freeform made for 64 bits computers where the Macintosh version. Windows version 32 bits, so even though we have a KB Lake processor and 32 gigs of RAM, it crashes, which is fucking hilarious. Anyway, so this was made partially using a cluster machine and some other tricks. So it's going to be really interesting. We're going to show it off to the Maker Festival this weekend, if it works. Okay, back to the calibration then. Let's see, I should have a bit more loose than last time. So, still a bit of resistance. Okay. I'm hopeful this will work better this time. Could also be that I have a calibration card that is not the same size as the one that came with the printer. Because those calibration cards are missing all the time.
So basically, we create an STL file in that style or AutoCAD, right? Then we convert it to G something, what you mentioned.
Yeah,
Then
you
we
have to
put the-
use Cura, which is a free application that Multimaker has made for their printers in order to make G code, which is understood by these printers especially. The G code made for these printers using Cura, it's called Ulti G code, which is sort of a more detailed version with more temperature and more speed and whatever steps. So it's much easier for people who have never written custom G code before to use it. It's basically just push and go.
And then we put that file into the SD card. We put it there.
Yeah, I
we
will show you how to do that. First, I'm gonna put on a print here, and you're gonna make some kind of model, and then I'm gonna show you how to manipulate it in Cura until it's perfect, and then print it. So, one more time now. Let's see if the calibration is better this time. Yes. How many of you have managed to get a Thinkercad account? You did? Awesome.
Like is it a case, for example, for Raspberry Pi?
Yes, we have printed a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but is it simple, like a 10-minute stuff? Okay, then we can.
Not 10 minutes, but a couple hours. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You should possibly have it in the highest quality detail for the mounting holes for the screws and stuff, you know? Yeah. So I will go with, we have one printer here with 0.25 millimeter nozzle, which is a bit smaller than the 0.4 millimeter nozzle that they usually ship with. So we have modeled that one with a slightly higher resolution nozzle. And you should print at 0.06 millimeter resolution, which takes much more longer time, so you can get a much better print. I suspect that printer, that print was done using higher resolution because I can see he has some screw holes like screwing in stuff. Okay, let's see how this goes now. I'm just gonna hold the plastic down so it doesn't drag it all around. Stay. Okay, this is much better. Last time it didn't leave a trace of blue plastic, so that means it's not too tight. Okay, let's go to modeling then. Have you found a spot to sit and model or? Jag kan se, ja. Also fix kamera här. I suppose. Alltså,
Det er jo ved siden av Lille Ellingsen. Ja, med den biologi. Ja. Vi tenkte å involvere bioingeniørene til vi har nylig kjøpt en masse medisinsk utstyr. Maskin og blodmaskin og utstyr for biohacking. Vi får ikke en case for teknisk museum som er der, som er samfunnet med i Norge. Så er det ingen mykkepesis i Norge enda som sier biohacking. Så høysen blir det første mykkepesis med biohacking. Hvor dere har fått fritt gjennom på medisinsk utstyr og det som blir på en stor tid. Vi kan fortsatt mykkepesis trenger for alle, så lenge som kommer bare tippe deg inn døren med støttekort for alle. Det er ingen foresight. Det er ingen lærere. Så det betyr at du kan gjøre hva du vil, du kan logge hva du vil, du kan bygge hva du vil, det er ingen her som bestemmer noe sånt. Og de som driver mange kurs og sånt, som er i dag, det er det er akkurat. Og så fikk jeg vi har ledet av styrking og jeg har lyst på vi kommer opp og bygge det er det viktigste grøys for å kunne bygge sånt. Det kan være noe du bygger til sketsj, det kan ikke være annet. Målet, for eksempel, vi prøver maskinen har der hele prosjektet da hadde vi mykkepesis i 2 som er kjære bygg, som betyr at vi har en bottenport. Så det er masse prosjekter med gjennom til så planen var egentlig å lage prosjektet vi tenker at det er en annen for biologi. Tverrfaglig samarbeid. Innovasjon, utvikling, bedrifter, samarbeid. Så det er greit å ha en sosial møteplass som ekspress, hvor man bare kan tilpasse og gjøre det. Altså, det er ikke bare til det. Hvis samarbeid er greit. Så det er åpnet til andre. Så det er et kurs også som jeg driver og lærer opp nå. Når du kan basicen etter halvtime. Så kan du få egen så lenge det er 12 timer til en lang avtale. 30 minutter. Ja, så printer der. For eksempel man da beskjeder der som på gårdsnæringen. Eller for eksempel om du spiller som så det er jo kult prosjekt. For eksempel der måtte vi ha folk laget så det er grenser. Men det er jo svært. Yeah, you guys have for example, LCD screen or high or something like that. Yeah, and we allow to use that? Yeah, because I already understand that it takes 3 or 4 weeks. Just try out what we have here. Yeah, I have the key open stuff. But if you need something, just tell me. I just say, okay, that didn't pass the screen, so if someone asks for it, 2 weeks time. Yeah, I mean, we borrow stuff. Det er det tenker på sånn type, så biologistudentene kan gjøre det. Og beklager hvis når jeg poster på siden jeg bare sånn, shit, vi har biologiinstrumenter. Det er en studentekurson på biologiinstrumenter. Vi bør poste noe der, de er sikkert eager til å leke med det. Da skal ikke leke, for igjen, det er ingen lærer som sier nei til å bruke det, fordi det er for eksplisivt. Men hva er det du tenker av? Jeg håper at du har biologistudenter som også er interessert i å innovere og eksperimentere.
eksperimentere med medisinsk utstyr og maskiner og prøve å lage nye effektive materialting. Og hvis du skal gjøre det, så må du ha noen maskiner som du vet hvordan det fungerer. For eksempel hvis du vil bygge en rypemaskin på scratch, så må du ha en rypemaskin som du vet fungerer sammenhengende. Det har vi. Og vi har certifikeringsmaskin, for eksempel.
Og så må jeg se på hva er det
Som er på en måte litt mest høyskuls utlegg.
For masse greier, ikke sant? Ja, det ligger den samme krisen. Som at den er
Yeah, right now.
Så det er
This is not the classroom.
This is a secret position like this.
This is not.
It's kind of new.
No, I mean MIT has makerspace using this geology maker experience and learning by doing this since I've been. It's an old concept. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, no, the speaker room.
Oh no, I've tried to make makerspace thing for years because I mean we are also like also they are planning the third. And you have industries like industry.
I didn't know and stuff. I mean, I had makerspace.
Yeah, you have good open zone. And architecture school, they have makerspace, they are makerspace, you have makerspace, everything out. This printers were small in some together we found like medicine. And we already have a couple of students who have sent patent and they are first year students and we are not even half a year. So this is cool.
Ish. Altså, vi printer Ja. Det var derfor det her materialet. Altså, dette her er lysensfritt. Den bruker med de kontorene her. Det lysensfritt, når du fræser med laser. Altså, det tåler vaskemaskin. Det her er alltid vaskemaskin. Det her er det kan få lage om i mannskapet, så det kommer til å gå. Det er så det er gjort design først i kveld, og så printer vi i kveld, og hvis det funker der, så printer vi det koster 10 ganger. Så en liter materiale til kontorprinter der er 2 kilo. Yeah, but you can print for free and just materials and printers are 2,400 kroner per week. Yeah, for that's like
last year's friction very det jeg tror nå har vi ikke sagt noe om komplikasjoner ennå, men vi å være sånn rundt sånn 5 år her. Det må da bli videre. Og så må vi ha noe der man må være litt sånn så det blir fort 10 år. Veldig fort. Så, men jeg tror det her er en ting vi må ha. Ellers så blir det mye. Jeg tror ikke vi klarer å samle en del da, og bygge det her selv. Få det så bra. Til noe særlig mindre enn $2 per. Men du har et typo, det her er jo $12, og så blir det $100 her en typo. Big time. Oh. Nei, det var $12. Det går ikke. Nei, det må være en typo. Skrivverk der. Sure. $3. Yeah, good idea. You should take det mye, altså. Så en fjerde av prisen var det sånn. Altså, det henger greit. Vi skal se på kartus. Det må du gå ned. Det har vært en mulighet. Og så det jeg får det skal ikke da være typisk som sånn bare masse utslag av design for sånne ting. Så det bare å koble inn i ræva, så man finner det selv og det den løsningen som gjør time to market kjempebra. Vi kan jo si på sånn at det må lage egen som vi trenger. Men det bare, hvordan skal vi vite hva vi driver med det? Jeg har jo det skjønner du? Det var sånn, så det er egen bachelorfelt selv. Så det er på en måte ikke, Da oppe i $12 da. Så det var en $100, det som skjedde en annen jeg har sagt om. Det er tilbake på foregående. For at vi skal få inn alle funksjonene med dette, for det er kulturelt. Det er en estimator, så er det 2 knapper. Og de 2 knappene skal gjøre volume up, volume down, search, next, release. Da må vi på en måte ha uttrykkssekvenser, for å lage sånne uttrykkssekvenser. Men det er jo ikke, det er ikke krav av kode. Det er på en måte greit. Det må også på en måte, når vi setter noe inn i estimatorene, så er det en bryter der som du ser på det. Man må slå her, for man må slå på den koster $1,7. Ja. Så da er vi oppe i 12 var nesten blå, og 3 iser. Uttaler du? Sterkere? Da er det jo ADC-er. Spikker jeg det? Jeg tror det er... Nei, ADC-er er en av i hver eneste delene. Det er veldig avhengig av de spikker som er vanlig også.
All finished prints will be placed in the like the spongy prints, completed prints cardboard box on the table there. So if you're not around when you visit something else needs to print, just kind of take it off and
Det var et forslag jeg fant til en lovkostnad. Den her kan faktisk funke for den personen der. Den hadde egen... Ja, små lite forsterker, for å drive sensoren. Det var alt kommer i pakker, da. Det var jo spillet. Og så er det noe fra det blir fra omtrent 1 natt til nesten ganske jevnt over. For noen sånne lille greier da, men det tror jeg er litt effektivt. Så det ser du for deg, ja, ikke sant? Det er det her slaget. Den er sykt. Helt vilt. Er den halvannen minutter og halvannen minutter? Nei, så den er 1 minutt. Det er ikke noe vi kan plassere på hånd, eller så.
select the folder. Arrow there. And then start.
Ja, men det skal funke. Det skal funke. Hei! Så her er det egentlig en mulig blokke å ta de blokkene til det bygget man trenger, men man kommer til å blåse det her budsjettet. Så er det den der demo-gaten Hva var det der? Men nå er det bare for en gang da. Jeg vet ikke om det finnes. Jo, det finnes en pils. Nei, ikke. Men Og så søker du opp, skal vi se, do it yourself music. Så får du opp sånne der opplegg. For noen som har sånne der åpningsgreier da. Det måtte bare kvart. Så det er på en måte ikke helt riktig vil da. Her er det en som heter her.
Det kan være at det er så mange... Ja. Det er sikkert meg. Men det kan liksom ikke en mennene.
Det finnes ikke i lager sånt da. Noen lapper. Og har innbygd hovedholder. Det kommer inn noen ulike størrelser. Ja, det er den blinken der. Det er den blinken som du har sånn stand. Jeg vet ikke hvordan det skal implementeres med jeg vet ikke hvordan det implementeres med kontroller og estimater. Det er bare noen det må programmeres og da er det sånn der da blir det jobben.
Du har kommet så langt, veldig mye. Nå blir det ikke Du sier nå ser vi at det er en sånn litt lenge. Vi skal lære litt ned sånn at vi får det på 10 minutter. Vi tar 20%. Da tar den 10 minutter.
Nei, men det er ikke vi som kjøper på 2000, det er det jo som gjør. Vi skal lage flere
10 minutter, exactly. Og det var en fine resolution. Det trenger ikke. Vi kan kjøre den litt ned på resolution for et litt større sånn. Hvorfor ser jeg ikke?
Ja, kjøper 2000, så får du
noen maskiner så er det sånn at hvis du har en plusfil, så blir alle knappene
Du også på plass der andre lukker som den ikke.
Her er det jo da, for eksempel da den VLS 103 B, ja, det var den muligheten på, med estimater selv. Og så vet jeg ikke, og så mulig tilbud og så er det presentation schematic, ja. Det er jo veldig god post.
Det ser jeg det. Og så skrev den ned til 30%, og så satte den på fløsning normal print, så den blir 15. Så kan du få en stor faktor. Og så etter du kan basic testen der, da skal jeg nok til sånn her 12 timer, så får du en 7. Yeah, so you download it on the file, so it's learning books, that's okay. Open, so there. Okay, right. This is a model you had in. You had a model in there before. We have to delete that actually because the distance between is
I was
taken
thinking
out.
I needed to finance, so I think it was on I don't think it can be finance.
Okay. Let's go back here and okay, what I'm going to do now is just being really lazy.
No. Det vet ikke jeg hva er. Aner ikke hva det er.
Mark this.
Det er jo ikke sånn greie.
Ja, for memories er ok, altså det er bare egentlig mer mye.
Men det er sånn
Ja, kanskje det. Ja, for det kan være, for jeg har sett litt på de her filmene og liksom at det viser hvordan du setter opp noe. Så må du skrive sånn i koden for hver gang du gjør det, så kan du lese sånn og skrive det. Kan være det er sånn, fordi
If you want to do metal, I will go for that's something that we're going to do with it's a course. Yeah, so this is golden made molding process there. So then you have to learn mesh mixer. I can teach you that later. You have to do some basic printing first.
I'm more interested in like making basic.
Yeah,
so low current
to do that.
So you just basically create the mold and then you do
First,
regular.
you create the model, then you inverse it so
Yeah.
that the model is hollow and the rest is solid around it, and then you cast into it. Like
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do this basically. This is the ring. It's in highest X-Define tool. I'm actually going to do it on the 0.25 nozzle as well, because we have one of those right now. It's going to take 10 minutes. You have an estimate. Yeah, yeah. Cool. So, in order to make a print, you get a printer that is available. Check out as you go.
Det kan være at det er en sånn film man kan bruke for å...
I'm going to come around. So just push that as you go.
vise hvordan man spiller egentlig kode og lager det. At det er alltid typ er som noen... Så linse. Det er ikke at det er linse, men det er på en måte ligger det en... Hver gang du kjører noe. Så bare si at...
And we have some rules when you're printing, so you save.
Det burde klare... Det burde klare.
So you're going to save the file. Select no name as the card. And your
Og hvis
name.
det er... Hvis det er jo litt... Det er greit det. Jeg tenker meg å lære det.
So in case you need to
Men
print
da
again,
kan det da på en måte...
if the print has some issues, you can restart it.
50 ganger videre.
It's made for it, because our G code for Ultimate 2 is different from Ultimate 3, for example. The printers are different. Yeah,
Det er veldig spart for, da har vi lagt litt
Okay.
der.
Then you're gonna select this and send the E to eject
Og
it.
så kommer plassen i tillegg, og så kommer høyttaleren i tillegg. Og høyttaleren er nok den største kostnaden, tror jeg, sånn samlet. Og jeg tror det er snakk om at vi går med en høyttaler, fordi kostnad, resten av det
Now you just put it back in the printer.
Nei,
Take some glue on and start it. You can do it yourself.
så flytter vi mer.
Yeah.
Jeg tror også det kan bli veldig mekanisk i runding da, når du har en plastboks som er så
Okay.
og
Here's the glue.
det kan være greit å ha et
Where should the glass be?
Which one is that?
Så skal man ha plass til alle delene,
This
og så
one because it's a yellow ring. Unless you want to change the color.
da
You want to change the color from yellow to something else?
skal man kanskje ha plass til
What color do you have as
red.
You should also have some silver.
So,
We have some black.
Hvis ikke det er
You know
sånn,
what? This would be bad for me. It could be like even green.
Cool.
So whatever you have here.
Take some glue on the middle and some glue
So like
here.
calibrated or is it like
Yeah, this is glue.
here?
Just some glue there, just so that the first blob doesn't get right into the middle. Yeah, and some in the middle. Not in the middle.
Cool.
Det er nok ikke mye av det. Ja, nei, tenker at
Select print.
Yeah, this is what is interesting for me. How do you select it? Okay.
Press the button and scroll and one up to the bottom. One up. It starts going like in 2 seconds. And
Where should be my
I think you're at the bottom because it usually sorts the files.
Okay, jeg tenker at det
Okay, then you have to search. Good luck.
Hvis jeg bare avklarer noe og...
Well, dudes. Oh yeah, but
Okay.
det blander det bare så du kan printe via nettet.
Oh, that was easy.
Vi skal prøve å få til nettverksprinting på det senere. Men veldig kult med to plass. Den er printer.
Det er mest...
Så åpner du STM-filer som du eksporterer. Ja, kontroll-N. Kontroll-O. Okay, good. Da venter du på. You just wait until the print is starting and make sure that it's fine. Okay?
Hei, Bartolomeo!
To be honest,
Ok, så 100% skrevet. Og så utvidet vinduet.
so fun.
Så du kan markere den hvis du ser den, og så kan du se hvor stor den er. Klikk på den. Så ser du der.
Ja, det var sånn.
Ser du hvor stor den er. Den er 7,3 grader. Ok, så skriver du det inn. 73. Og så på tab, og så er det uniform scale. Nå er det du skal rotere den, så velger du den. Ja. Så drar du den røde, så den går til 90 grader. Du kommer til å se et tall, ikke andre veien. Så du drar den på den.
Jeg tror at vi har opplevelse for når vi lagt meg på vår, faktisk lage
toucher.
Lage meninger.
Ok, jeg tror kanskje den må snu bildet.
Bare sitter der med noen demoer.
Ok, bare snett musa, og så bare kontroll. Nei, nå opp ned.
Det prøver å legge en radio.
Det er litt kinkig. Så ta oss og prøv å holde en høyremus snart, så de eksempel du ser siden, så egentlig at
Vi kunne bare lage en evalueringsspil.
Ja, ok.
Med egne kort.
Bare slipp, og så slipp der, og så tar du til 15 grader til det.
Kan man gjøre det?
Ja, jeg tar det 2 ganger. En plate. Så er det noe for platen.
Gjør du det?
Bare hold en høyre musknapp, da kan du se den for forskjellig.
Sånn. Hvordan venter du?
Nei, ok. Så hvis du bare klikker hvor som helst utenfor, så holder du inn med høyre, så kan det bli rett sånn. Ok, den står platt.
Kan du gjøre det?
Ja, hvis du markerer den, så...
Får den møte, eller?
Den er blitt sånn?
Ja,
Så prøver vi noe annet. Prøv der som er løyvet. Sånn. Ja, det fikk sant, ja. Nå skal vi finne en rød knytte. Vil du ha den i grønn farge?
Grønn?
Ja, det vil du skifte farge.
Ja, men da er det grønn.
Ok, så...
Men er det kommet grønn? Ja, så
Nei?
Er det kommet grønn?
Nei, grønn.
Ja, nei,
Ja, nydelig. Så nå kan du få fjernet den her av. Så du gjør da, du tar en special som det her. Og så går du under, sånn.
Der går den av.
Ja, og så bare putter den her oppi ferdig prins. Og nå er det ikke så mye lim oppå her, så er den ganske clean egentlig. Så da slipper vi å vaske den.
Vi trenger lim?
Jo, vi trenger lim, men vi trenger ikke fjerne lim ved vask. Så det er ikke nok lim. Sånn. Ok, lukker vi den inn.
Ja, men...
Skort. Du er som en plass for maskinen. Der, ja. Oi,
Det var dumt.
det er sånn her fylke.
Det er segment.
Right.
Probably that is not
Ah, yes, it's just a ring. By the way, you can check out your prints live on Twitch, on this Twitch channel. Yeah, we have. I set up some webcams, so we can see a ring here. It's number 13. If I see that your print is fucking up, I'm going to stop it remotely. So just so you know that. So if, for example, the printer is spewing out spaghetti everywhere, and
Just showing off that there's a Twitch stream.
I would probably stop it. Okay, så 20% en time er litt lenge, men du skal sikkert ha den på den hovedlegget. Okay. Bare velge 100%. Og så tar vi extra fine. Perfect. Ja, yes. Og så ikke velge save to move drive enda. Velg den pilen ved siden av. Den der. Der, ja. Så velger du save file. Og så må du skrive inn navnet.
Så tok du det plutselig.
I feel like I'm in my psychologist, and then I find out, whoa, it's something that I find. And it's very homemade.
The lights will
Så vi å lage på
Oh no, but I think I know what's going on. It's maybe base.
Let's make it look.
Do you think it's a good
bare så
one?
kort der.
Så du må finne et forhold som
What the fuck? It's not...
Der, ja. Jeg står også der. Se.
Ok, det var ganske lazy.
Didn't ask your name.
Alright.
The thing is that,
Det var
the
det
thing
som
is,
var G-kode.
Ja. Så trykker du bare der bilen der. Så velger du spien der.
Do we need an adapter? That ruins the whole stuff. It should be like
Ja,
more.
så må vi finne livet.
Yeah, maybe there's a part missing.
Der!
Yes.
Ok.
Eller,
Du skulle få lov til å prøve å ligne selv. Du skulle hvor du skulle legge inn.
Ja. På den hjørnet her.
yes.
Og så litt min.
I was just asking if that base that he's
Men den tar vi kanskje der.
Ja, du tenker det var.
Men den tar vi kanskje der borte. Den tar vi kanskje der borte. Hva kan vi gjøre der? Vi skulle legge den her.
Comforting
Ja, det er bare
beer.
for
Whatever.
Den er laget av det nederst til venstre. Og så
Really, you man touch you, and if you
bare
touch
sånn
the
stakk,
touch, it bites out.
This is
så
awesome, dude.
kjempedigert en stor dekke ned. Ja, trykker du på den.
So now you have to cut the little key shape stuff, then if it's light up, then you can't take the job.
Og så stikker jeg ordentlig.
Awesome, this is awesome.
Og den her som er svart vest.
What type of animal?
Ok, prøv å finne den der.
It's so creepy, so bad. I'm like,
Der you go. Og så venstre på.
you put it in my game.
Ok, looks good.
everything's fine.
Nå printer den. Nå printer den.
Ja, ja, du bare, hvor lang tid kommer det til å ta? Du må jo sjekke på Kura. Hvis du går til på Kura, så kan vi se hva tid det kommer til å ta. For jeg sjekker den. 2 timer. Så hvis du går tilbake om 2 timer, så kan du hente det.
Er det åpent da?
Ja, ja, det er åpent til klokka 2. Ok, sorry, jeg ble masse spent her. Ja, du...
Jeg er klar til å...
Ja, 10 minutter. Ja, nydelig. Ok, skal vi se om vi finner en ledig printer her. Den er klar. Da kan du få lov til å prøve å knekke av printen som står i den printeren på sølv. Ah, yes. Here's the silver plastic. This print has some silver plastic.
There's some here as well. You can see that it's
Oh,
fine.
that's too short to be actually
Too
used.
short?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's a whole.
Yeah. Så ja. Men jeg skal ta å skrive ned alle de som har tatt 3D-printing-kurset. Sånn at vi vet at dere har tatt det. Babar,
Ferdig. R-A-Z-A-Q.
R-A-Z-A-Q. Ok.
Irfan.
Irfan.
Suvalia. S.
Su.
Nei, nei, ikke.
Hva har du etter?
Tobias.
Tobias?
Andersen. Ja.
Skal du så skrive
Her
studienummeret
skal du.
vårt?
Ja,
eller?
ingen problem. Ses. Vi ses neste gang. Ja. Ja, vi ses sikkert senere.
Hey,
Jeg er
do
nesten helt det.
student number?
It's fine. We just need the first name, last name. Okay, what's your first name and last name?
Attila send til meg.
Attila.
Attila var nesten riktig, ja, og send til meg. Send til meg. SZ.
S.
E-N-T-I-R-N M. No, M. Ikke M.
Alle kan få lov til å skrive
No,
navnet.
no, no. You should make it finish now. Come on. No. It's so near. You.
I give up. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here you go.
Yeah.
So it's like pancakes. Did we try to check if there's nothing before stuff?
Yeah. To be even more accurate.
First, we get it under there.
Done.
I'll get into it. Okay.
Det var langt, da.
Ja, han får sagt først og left buttons. What about the middle?
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Export.
Det var det.
Sted. Åpne Kura.
Ja.
Ja, bare google.
Ja, men disse apps var ganske eksotiske.
Ja.
Ja, Irfan.
Ja.
Ja, det
Har
er
du noen eksotiske navn også?
Ja, jeg har det.
I don't want to share.
Åh, Nabila.
Ja. Men det betyr egentlig Nobel.
Nobel?
Nobel. Ja. Ja.
What the heck? Ifran, Attila, Nabila, Nobel. Wow.
Okay.
Jeg forventer Torbjørn og...
Did we have everyone here? Have you written your name in?
Nei.
Sånn, det blir...
Should, like, is tapping skulle jeg som prøve ut sånn, eller er det...
Sure.
Okay.
Go on. Sorry, there. Oh, this is something. So you can see here, this can take now. This is just for keeping the bubble in place when it's printing.
Okay.
So, for example, the ring you see up there that she's printing is going to be a ring.
Okay, so is there a lot of glue here, you think?
Yeah.
It's a bit over the
You said
edges
yes, you
here.
have to wash it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's probably fine.
but for your print, which is going to be in the middle,
Yeah.
small print, it's no problem.
Okay.
So just put that back.
Okay. Which one was?
It was the silver one there. Yeah, I should probably. Yeah, there. That's number 14, right? I think number 15 is this one, right? Let's see. Yeah, this is number 15. I should just write number 15.
It is actually fascinating. I think we should just have
Okay, just take this code, put that in your computer.
mean,
Export your STL to a key code in Cura. Oh, and this is ready as well. This is one of the houses that someone made in Minecraft at Cutting Edge Festival. So we can.
Cutting Edge Festival som teknisk festival eller som metal festival?
It's for cutting edge technology. So they had like exhibits from all over the world. They had some people, South Korea, showing off a robot, and they had some people showing off a self-driving truck, everything.
And it was here in Norway or somewhere?
Ah, this is interesting. Now we see that the top of this house is fucked up. Okay? So the top of this house is fucked up. Why? Well, there's no more plastic on the road.
Oh.
So that's a bad print.
So how does it? Can I just see it?
Yeah, you see, it didn't have enough plastic to finish the top because the roll was empty. So what we have to do now is we have to refill it with some other material. So we're going to go back to the menu, material, change. And we're going to take a roll that has a bit more plastic. Because we're going to use this for our small prints, we can just use what's left here. Probably. Okay.
So machine itself doesn't stop even if it doesn't like have a
Yeah.
of plastic.
Because it doesn't know how much plastic there is on the roll. And I should actually have checked on this printer how much plastic there is left. That's something you all should do. I forgot to mention. You should all check how much plastic is on the roll before you start printing. Unless you might end up with this problem. Still not heating up. Okay. Has everyone put the names on the document so I can?
Do I have to if I'm not a student here?
Huh?
Do I have to if I'm not a student?
Everyone who's taking the course has to write down the names. I can send it to my boss,
Okay.
so she knows who has taken the course and who has not taken
Of course. Nice. Ska
Yeah.
jag få vittnamål också eller som?
Sure, you can do that. You can say that you have taken 3D printing basic course at Hoya Makerspace.
Basic, yeah.
Yeah, it is basic. I mean, you haven't really started working with the Form 2 printers yet.
Yeah.
So this plastic is it's so little that it's not even enough for a print. And you can also see here that the gears have started digging into the plastic. That happens when it doesn't get enough plastic. It also can happen sometimes because of speed or temperature issues. And what happens then is that your print is ending up like this. You see? The house is not like done and stuff. Ooh, that's a really nice ring. Yes, Ultimaker 2 Plus.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
A printer. And when the print is ready like that, you should wait until the glass plate is cold.
Yeah.
What I usually do, because I like to cheat and I like to be patient, I take the glass plate off. It's basically as hot as cooking ware from. Yeah, it's a bit hot. Yeah.
It's like from the dishwasher.
Yeah, from the dishwasher. So just place it down on the table, and then it will cool down faster. So you see that your ring was a bit big.
No, it's fine. I know now what to do.
Yeah.
There's enough, sure.
Yeah, sure. So this is a basic test print.
Maybe or somewhere around it.
I can't put my head around it.
Okay, check generate support. Now you can see that the time it takes to print goes from 2.5 to 4 or 5. Okay. So it's a bit more because you need support. So if you click on that eye and select layers, you can see if you rotate. Yeah. You can rotate mode by holding right mouse button and drag. There you go. Yeah. So if you draw them, draw it up now, it's going to say lots about all the support. Yeah.
Så du kan gjøre noe her. Se på tida der nå. 4 timer og 55 minutter. Prøv å legge på sida i stedet, så jeg kan prioritere det. Da markerer du den. Prioriterer du på sida. Det er litt gøy. Der, ja. Du ser ikke mye tid det er. Så inntil 5 timer, så går det på forskjell. Noen ganger kan det være en på forskjell. Det er at hvis du lager en notch i den plata, så du trykker den inn i, og legger teksten flatt, så vil du kanskje flytte på 1 time. Ok? Så ja, så kan man speede opp og ende opp med mindre supportplass som blir veldig stort. Kan slippe å printe, men altså, det er bare greit for dere å lage en enkelt print først. Ok! Ja, det gjør vi. Jeg har navnet ditt, og du kan ikke du har sett hvordan du printer, og du bare kom tilbake og spørre om spørsmål. Hvis du vil ha ja, så du kan printe selv. Du kan bare komme inn og smette fatte en fil av ditt beste, så kan lede intervju. Ja, så lenge det er under 12 timer. Ja, så lenge reglene står på døra der. Så lenge det er under 12 timer, så er det greit.
Men hvis det er mer enn 12 timer...
Ja, det er bare spør du oss. Hei, jeg er en stor oppgave. Så jeg står på i 3 dager, og det er greit.
Hvis det er en time mer enn 12 timer, så må du sette den på.
Ja, altså, vi har en regel for at vi ikke vil at folk skal printe sånn tilfeldig på 3 timer, eller 3 dager. Så det er folk som printer ting på morgenskyld. Det er greit nok til 12 timer. Hvis det er over 12 timer, så send en melding til oss og spør, hei, jeg har noe viktig.
Hvis det er en stor ting, kan vi også skjære noe flere deler.
Ja. Vi hadde et prosjekt hvor vi skulle printe ut hva heter den sverg fra svært fette digert sånn two-handed claymore-sverg som var i sånn 17 biter. Vi fikk printet på det før det var en printer om og vi fikk tid, men også, ja, det kan gjøre det. Hvis man har lyst til å drive folk til å printe ut det Iron Man-suit i 200 deler.
Men hvis man har lyst til å printe noe som er litt lenger tid, så er det bare å gjøre det sånn.
Bare sånn en melding, så vi godkjenner det ikke godkjenner. Noen som hjelper dere med å tune ned på det. Altså, vi har printet ting som er ganske kompliserte, for eksempel. Så har vi printet som en utfordring, så hadde vi hovedfonholdet på akkurat 12 timer. Det er ganske fint. Det er sånn her. Det er sånn at henger hovedfonholdet på den. Det er litt fucka under da, for at man har printet en support. Det er egentlig helt fantastisk som heter å printe. Vi har også printet, du kan se her, det knekket vi skal reparere. Da ser du at det er nesten hul inni. Det var en fyr som skulle pusse et utfortid, så han jobber litt her og knakker fra hodet. Men det er så kan du prøve å fikse det med bare liv, så jeg beholdt det her for å teste forskjellige metoder. Men bare si til oss da, så skal du få det på 12 timer. Hvis ikke, så tar du kontakt med oss. Nydelig. Ok, er det noen som vil ha noe på printen? Har du noe på det?
Nei, ikke det noe egentlig.
Nei. Ok, la oss se. Det ser jo veldig bra ut. Supert, ok. Da bare holder jeg med den et par minutter, og så til den er ferdig med brynen. Var det bra?
It's nice plastic. It's not like you know, I thought it's gonna look more like when you have a plastic bottle on the cap, and then you have that little ring around the neck. But it does look a bit like that.
It's a bit, it's very rigid.
But if I'm gonna make, let's say, a 3D model at home on, like, let's say, 3D Max or something like that, is it possible to
The
convert?
school has licenses for that, so yeah, you should be able to get a license for that. Or you can use any of the computers, like these computers should have it. But yeah, I mean, we have had a couple of students who have just posted in the Facebook group where I make a face. And someone they printed from. when someone is on the like, yeah, I think it's about 1 year. And it takes me like 2 minutes to do.
Yeah, because I was just thinking if I'm going to come in with a file, you know, that is ready.
Yeah, I mean, you can post SQL or Keycode from Pura, and someone who can just, you know, see examples of that in our Facebook page, group, whatever. Group, yes. I recommend all of you to join the group, because we also post information about workshops and stuff there.
That's really nice.
Oh yeah, maker space. There we go. How does the stream go? That's fine. Okay, group. So, okay.
But are you allowed to join it even if you're not?
I'm not sure. I mean, we haven't had anyone
No
from
one really
outside
asks
school.
your confirmation.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I need to ask my boss in that case. But where is the? There we go. So she's just asks if someone can print this key code for her, and someone at the Makerspace can just do that. But I mean, are you a student somewhere else, or?
No, I finished my university 10 years ago. So.
Okay. I mean, sure.
I wish I was, to be honest. So nice.
Yeah, I mean, you could ask the group, like, can someone print this for me, and they will probably just print it and toss it in the box there when it's done. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I can ask Erin about it. She's my boss. She should be able to give you a more concrete answer.
I mean, if it's something I could actually pay for the you know, for the materials as well myself.
Because
if
if you actually want to do some molds, like for metal work,
it's probably gonna be a bit pricey.
Our supplier is 3D-nets, and the resin for high temp creations is 2,500 per liter. Yeah. So, but we have discussions now with aesthetic like art department. They want to have a workshop where we actually do molds and stuff like that. And then they will probably buy a couple of liters of this material, and if you are able to get people outside the school to join, if that's possible at all,
It's gonna be cheaper for them.
then it's going to be cheaper. Like, for example, if you have a course for making molds for metal stuff, and we have both students and non-students, and the non-students pay a fee, not like thousands of kroners, then maybe, I don't know. Because right now we don't have that material at all. We haven't
What's the advantage of it?
you can make molds. So, for example, here.
You can make shapes where you can kind of cast the iron shapes.
Oh, it's like that. Wow.
But
That
But
was a nice
you-
reaction.
Yeah, but you can do it that anyway cheaper by just making a negative mold in.
That's
like,
what.
yeah, but it's about, let's say, it's let's say if you have a very accurate design with like a lot of
Details.
let's say inside structures,
Yeah.
you know, and something that you can't really make.
Try to make a mold of that in
Yeah.
clay.
No, but like what I meant was like you can 3D print it normally and then make.
Yeah. This is what they do. They take a model and then inverse in measurement. Like you said, you're
Yeah.
absolutely correct. The problem is that for these kind of models that are so high detail,
You can, for example, if you have a lace-like structure
here's
inside.
a failed model print because it only printed half
Like
of the
this,
figurine. You see here, this is a D&D figure that is 25 milliliter and 25 millimeters
Okay.
diameter. You can see this is a guy with a pistol. You can see the detail is really high on this, and you can make that in metal using that resin and molding it. The detail is really good, but the price is kind of high right now. I am going to be a project manager for a bachelor project soon, where we are going to challenge students at the chemistry department to try to make SLA plastic 4D printer from scratch to bring the price
Nice.
down.
So is it a foreign company who produced this and you ordering from a foreign country?
Basically, I'm going to say to students,
You have to create the material as a.
yeah, make the liquid
Yeah.
for the printers, so we don't have to buy it
So I'm
for
thinking,
2,000.
why we not have, or you or who's answered, have a sponsorship with the company, you put stickers in a wall, eventually make tutorials of 3D printing with their logo and.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of options to get cheap plastic. We could, for example, have workshops to create figurines for not Warhammer and those, because they are super tight on the licensing, but figurines. So people who like to play with figurines, not Warhammer, just figurines. We can have a course where they do that and they can make metal molds and stuff. Maybe. I mean, we're just starting out right now. So being able to have courses not just for students where you pay a small fee in order to get access to these kinds of molds, that would be really good. Especially for creating new businesses like student businesses, where you have a combination of students with the knowledge to do stuff, and people who are perhaps business owners or whatever. Yeah, sure. I need to talk to Evan about that, because we haven't had people other than students partake in the courses like this yet. So.
What is the price of these printers as well? It's
Um,
interesting because
Well, if you order from 3D-nets, 40,990.
It's actually not that.
So we don't have access to the resin printers, I guess.
Not yet. I would recommend you to do some prints in PLA first.
Yeah.
Because you need to check, like, is it the right shape, is it the right size, blah, 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 blah. If it's fine, then you have test printed in PLA for cheap. Then you can go to the Form 2 printer and do it for real, basically. The Form 2 printer basically makes a finished product.
Is the normal resin also super expensive? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was not the.
No, I mean all the resins are 2,000.
Okay, all of them are.
Yeah, this is the cheapest one. This is 1,800, but it's not like you can't make molds in it, for example. So it's still fucking expensive.
It feels like a cherry buff. Can plastic be that expensive?
Yeah, I mean this is light sensitive plastic, so that's why all of the enclosures are in orange plastic that are made especially to not take sunlight in.
Like when somebody in a dentist, they have this orange.
Yeah, I mean, you see here, these are UV chambers we use to harden the models after done printing in these. So what we do in these machines is that we select time. So the models we make in Form 2 printers, they usually take 20 minutes to harden. And then we turn on and there's like this UV, basically like a sun bath. Yes.
So does the laser also
reminds
shoot
me of
UV?
like
Do the printers
No,
use
laser
UV?
shoots lasers. Laser is a type of light, which can be directed into a really small point, so you can make really accurate molds. These printers are down to 25 microns. You could make like lenses for your eyes, so you can, instead of glasses, you have plastic lenses. You know, you can make those in those printers.
this is so cool.
So it's kind of like space
Not the
age
lenses, but
technology.
like still that's so accurate. It's so nice. It's
Yeah.
very good.
And we can play around with them. That's cool. But yeah, so I should ask Erin about it and try to find a solution for allowing people outside of school to print. But then we will probably have to
Charge, but like it's
charge
fine.
something.
I think it would be working well for you as well if it's like let's say depending on the time, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, if you do the modeling yourself and you've done the file yourself, and you just come by with a laptop and just hook it up to the printer and pay a fee for printing that amount of milliliters of material, including support, of course, then it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, let's try to calculate this, okay?
Because like the shape wouldn't be that big. I mean, this is something.
Yeah, I mean, let's take one of my models and try to see how much it would cost to make it in Form 2 printer.
Yeah, but actually from that page it's possible to order print and pay for it, and then you get it in a package.
Some pages do that. But I mean, you're not just paying for the material.
Yeah.
There's a
You're paying for
supply.
printer time.
My Raspberry Pi case, they cost some 120 kroners, so it's not cheap.
If you print a Form 2 printer, it will not be it could not compete with the cheap eBay cases. I mean, you can get a cheap eBay case for a Raspberry Pi for under 10 kroner shipped. So if you make it in one of these printers, you will basically pay more to have it treated. So, but if you print in PLA, it's cheaper, probably. Let's see, stunning Albert, yes. So this is
What's the measurement of that? What's the measurement of that?
I'm gonna show you. I can scale it down, so it doesn't matter really. I'm just gonna open it here. Let's say if I'm gonna make this model here. This is because this is a 20 by 42 by 39 millimeters. I can scale it down. Like, how big do you want it? Like 10? 10 milliliters. Okay, so this is 2.9 milliliters in volume. Hey. Det är 066. 066. Ja. Ja. Jeg bare sitter her og hjelper dem med tilmålering. Jeg er ikke ferdig ennå. Ja. So this is around 5 milliliters. Okay. Yay! Huh? Nu är det sagt sen.
Är du färdig?
Ja,
There you go. See you. Hey. Also.
It's everything, even when you were
There's like
scraping.
12 kroner, right?
Yeah, if you go by just material. Of course, there could be some residue material when you print and so you get whatever. We have to talk about this with Evan because this is just a rough estimate. You know? We could have like
No, it's
basic
fine.
brands.
Because it's just to make prototypes. It's really easier than just to. I mean, if I could see that it really works the way I want it, I could just, you know, basically, I don't know, invest more into this because, like, I just see like it's a really good.
This was made in stock material. This is a D&D figurine. It's kind of like bendy and stuff. This was printed in the highest resolution on the other material, which is tough material, I guess. It's this one, yeah. So it can handle a bit more pressure because it's more flexible, like more bending. Yeah. You could absolutely make
Oh.
but the problem is you want to cast the metal. We don't have any metal casting material yet. So then if you really wanted to print with that, you would have to supply the 1 liter material. Yeah. But if after we have the course with aesthetic, whatever it's called, arts and crafts students, and we have a liter of stuff, and we use a couple of milliliters only, then perhaps you could ask, okay, can I get a prototype that it's like 20 milliliters or something for around $100 or something? And if Evan will be cool with that, okay, we can do that. But if not, we can't.
Yeah.
So I just have to ask her.
Cool.
What's your name again? It's okay.
Is there a special place for waste plastic?
Yeah, that box over there. I should actually mark it with both English and Norwegian. I think better. I'm just gonna send your names.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna actually put by here like next session as well.
Nej, det vill se, tror jag.
I can actually can I add you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, because what we can do, if you have like a business or something that you want to
I don't really have a business, but
yeah,
I'm
but,
like doing.
I mean,
creative
I've been a project giver for bachelor students myself when I was a student.
Yeah.
Master. So what you can do is you can make a bachelor project and involve 3D printing.
Yeah.
And they can have that as a part of their bachelor project, basically.
Yeah.
That's why I do it.
Oh, that's interesting. Cool.
But I would recommend that we. This is you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I would recommend that we talk to Evan about this and try to find out a way to make these printers also available for people outside the school if needed, and what should be the requirements for doing that.
Because there's is there any other place in Oslo where you can actually print?
Yeah, bit of. I don't know what kind of printers they have, but they have some printers at least. So this is an open makerspace for not just students, they're for everyone. They have some 3D printers, I'm not sure which printers they have. What you could do also is you can actually come by Maker Fair this so tomorrow and Saturday, because we will have a bunch of makers there. Let's see.
Oh yeah, the makers in the okay.
This is Oslo Skaber Festival, the Oslo Maker Festival. So you will probably have a lot of people with 3D printers there. But I mean, yeah, when you see just the raw material cost, it shouldn't be a problem for us to take a couple of $100 from people outside the school to make it a little bit more cheaper for the students. I mean, it will make sense if the printers are not in use, and we can, I mean, a model of that size, like this one. Want to see how much time it takes to print this? This is 1,195 layers, by the way. So we're gonna be dipped in the wet of
Dere masse Z-greier i siste navnet.
This is the highest resolution as well. Do 3 hours. So it's not as bad.
You know, like the thing is that it's not the most important thing that how accurate is going to be. Like, actually, accuracy is important, but it's not about the material. Like, let's say, I'm not going to make it out of the plastic, but for prototypes, like just to show it to people.
I would use the PLA then because it's much cheaper, and a lot of people online can sell you 3D printed forms. There are students younger than me that have printers that build themselves from kits from Alibaba Express. You can build a printer like this ones for a couple of $1,000. Then you just, yeah.
You can also buy a used printer.
You can buy a used printer. You can also go to Claes Olsen down the street here. Buy one there, yeah, as well.
Which is quite many in Finn.no last time when I checked. So a lot of people order
yeah,
stuff.
people are upgrading the printers all the time.
Yeah.
So this is, yeah, we have some printers here, FlashForge, for example. You have filaments here. This is the filament that's the cheapest one. I'm not sure how good this shit is, but I mean, it prints.
I saw something for 700 kroner. I also saw a review in YouTube, and they said, well, you can 3D print, but and you can see in YouTube how good is that.
What you can do also, if you join 3D Print Norway, you just ask there, hey, I need this STL model. You are now learned how to make a basic model.
Yeah.
So you just ask them, how much to print this? Where should I go to print this? There are also web pages to print, köp, Oslo, because there's one of the hubs services. Blah, blah. Yeah, so this is services available in Oslo. So this is kind of like Uber for 3D printing. You have a bunch of people. You have so a bunch of people who just do stuff. So let's take a model I have, like this one. Parts are modeled in millimeters, yes. You can also print an SLA. So if you have people in Oslo with SLA printers, they can make it in the same material. So there. So yeah, there you go. It's compatible with every material. Blah 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 blah. select materials. I'm going to go with prototyping plastic, FDM, SLA. I want to use PLA. Why can't I use PLA? Search materials. PLA. There you go.
How about copyrights with these STL files and stuff? Like she creates something amazing, she sends it to me to check it out, and then I'm selling it or whatever I do. Can you prove that's you who made the original file? Or?
Good question. It depends on who you ask. I think you should probably have some kind of
But it's
agreement.
just like any other creative product. Like let's say I have rights for everything, even though I don't really go and you know like.
How do you prove? That was
It's
you.
the same as like digital art.
Maybe just because I have original file and you just got the copy of it.
Yeah.
There's
So
no way to prove
you
it.
can see here, for example, that model I had, which is, let's see, what's the size of that model? I have to just check the measurements for it. How many kilograms of plastic it is and stuff. 3D printing. Let's see, stand bar. This is actually quite big. It's 20 by 42 by 39 millimeters, so it's a relatively big size. And if I print it in solid, yeah. Anyways, so these people, individuals, can print it for you for 50 kroners, 28 kroners, okay, and they are, this is Sørumstad, this is Oslo, Tranby, Sandvika, Oslo. So you take Oslo, this guy, for example, select service. Let's see. So he has Prusa, it's a build 125 2120, mostly PLA prints, can also do color filament types and color from request. So color, pink, wait, what's this? Oh, 100 microns, 150 microns. I want 100 microns, I want it in red. Okay, so now it's going up to 69 because a higher resolution takes more time. Yeah, so this is going to be a total of 70 kroners.
That's nothing.
Yeah. So, but I would use one of the 3D Hubs pages. We also ask in printers in Norway if there's someone with a printer nearby where you live, because then mostly you can just send them a product by Wix and you can go and pick it up. They don't have to go to the postal office, and it takes them, I mean, half an hour max.
Yeah.
So that could be a solution as well. You could just say, I live around this area, this postcode.
Yeah.
Anyone in this area have a printer? I need this small STL file. 50 bucks. And someone is like, yeah, sure, that's 40 kroner for me then. Material is 10 kroners. So,
Yeah.
and you can come pick it up yourself. So then you can start doing that as a regular thing. Plenty of people in Oslo with printers.
Very nice. There's a lot of other questions as well, but maybe I'm just gonna figure it out myself. It's like, let's say the pressure, like, let's say this, what about making a relief, let's say on a sheet type of, like, print. I just want to make a kind of like a relief type of print, and I just want to make a shape for that. So let's say if I'm gonna run it through the press, lithography press.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh.
With the paper, I mean, is it possible? What's like the? Is there a lithography like
a lithoplanes is something I messed around with. I actually made a thing in Tingers. Okay, so this is kind of cool. This is a mug, or a mug holder. You can see the Huawei gaming logo. I see it better on this screen actually. I can show you how I did that. Oops. Yeah, sure.
Skruer de maskinen av når solen sendes, eller?
Nei, den er på hele tiden. Den printer over natta.
Bare på helgene, ikke sant?
Nei, de er på hele tiden, 24/7. Du kan se den live på twitch.com/turbolego. I opened that little pane in Mesh Mixer along with the model of the mug and inserted it into the mug. Okay, I want to show you how it looks like when I actually drag it out. I have to curve it to become the same curve as the cup.
So it's just a matter of finding the right number and the mold settings.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like just trial and error. Yeah. So if I drag it out, you can see that it still has the square thing. But it's embossed so that it goes out and not to merge with the model. And I just selected both models and combined them into one model. And then printed it. And it came out pretty good. Like,
Have you tried like printing, let's say, paper embossing like this type of?
Never. I would like to try. So we can make an embossed picture here, for example. What kind of picture we want? Say something. Pineapple.
A letter. A letter A.
A letter. Okay. A letter. Okay. So an A.
Maybe the rounded one.
This
I'm
one?
more interested, yeah, to
Yeah,
have
okay.
it kind of rounded.
So this is we don't know. Yeah. Just give me the fucking picture.
Aberdeen Carrier.
Usually the second one is not saved, so I can just do this and have us. There we go. Okay, this one. Okay. So this is embossed upwards. Yeah, that's good. So how much upwards embossing should we have in this model? We should have it how tall?
Depends on the paper. I think the thicker the paper, the better it is to work on it. So it could be
Thickness.
a millimeter maybe high.
This is a millimeter high. You sure? Let's try this and
Maybe,
scale it down afterwards.
Actually, two, like
50. There you go.
just two.
I want to just see how it looks like. Yeah, that's too much.
Oh, fear the paper.
Let's try 2 millimeters. 2.
Yeah, two. 1.5.
1.5. 0.5.
It doesn't do the.
It's English, it's not.
Yeah, I tried. Okay, I'm just gonna do this and cheat.
I think okay, it's let's say two.
Okay, 2. Okay, that's good.
And can you choose the edges, like let's say on the top layers? Like, can you just round them a bit?
Round these?
Yeah, instead of having like a
I will probably do that in Tinkercad.
Okay, in a model, like okay.
So I can download this.
Yeah, we're looking for a smart one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Letter A. Okay, this is the big letter. This should be how big?
I don't know what to say. Centimeter height.
Centimeter high.
Yeah.
So, so 20. 10.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that was the wrong axis. There we go. Alright, right, because this is going uniform. We should turn off uniform and make it 10. There we go. Okay. That looks good. Cool. And that could be printed in 3 hours. And this is now 85 wide, so 8.5 centimeters wide and 10 centimeters tall.
Maybe if we could just do, let's say, 5 millimeters tall would be better because it's the lithography press, so it's kind of got limitations. It doesn't have to be that. Yeah, I think that would be enough.
Yeah. And in material, 24 grams. One roll of plastic is fucking weird. Filaments. We are at 285 millimeters. And the one we usually take is 0.25 grams, so 750 grams is a full roll, and it costs 200, so it's like no, it's like 200 over 75. So it's 27 cents, Norwegian cents per gram, isn't it? Yeah, it's a 0.27 times 750 is 200. Yeah, so it's 27 cents per gram.
Just for that small shape like that.
No, okay, this is 24 grams times that. So this that will cost 6 kroner to print,
Seriously.
or 7.
So it's like just like a small little.
This would be actually 10 centimeters tall, 8.5 centimeters wide, and 5 millimeters thick.
This is amazing. This is so cool.
But that's with maker printers, or any PLA printers.
Cool. I'll get in touch with you a bit later, maybe.
Sure.
It's really
I mean,
cool.
if you want, you can ask in this group, for example, what's the cheapest PLA printer that can do resolution X reliably? Like, for example, let's go with the Cura settings then. 0.4 millimeter nozzle and normal print is 0.15 millimeters. So ask for that resolution. What printer can do that reliably and doesn't take hours to set up?
Er det du som holder alle denne
Yeah.
Er det på når det forskjellig?
Vino. Det bruker å være på Facebook. Så hvis vi går på Arduino, Arduino for beginners, 21. september var det forrige kurs, men det bruker å være sånn hjemme. Så hvis vi går inn på Makerspace, runs, soldering, no startup. Okay, I just soldering neste da.
I was thinking about that.
And
because
Klokken 3.
I'm trying to make this headphone.
Ja, bare meld deg på, så
So I'm
gleder du
gonna have
Det går ikke vent med
I've already bought like a little thing that
Ingen problemer.
adapters for cars.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks.
So I'm gonna mod it in a case that's gonna fit out here.
Yeah, it was
And
just
then
more
I thought, how
about
would I
the
close
fact that
this?
I'm trying to
And I
make a
thought that
project
like
for
screw holes would be realistic.
make it work,
So I
but
thought like
it's
just
kind
nuts
of
and bolts.
intricate details and
What you can do with that is that you can make it a master project. I'm a master student, I was a master student myself on virtual
But
design
if
ICT,
screws go,
where we use inclusive learning techniques and we also make inclusive school supplies, like, for example, maps and graphs that are tangible, not just
But it's very small MP3 player, and they just put it over there. Stuff like that. It's wireless because it's so small, it's stuck over there. Just put it in a jack and it's wireless.
I can actually do that right now. So,
because it's more like I want to get the funding for that and kind of try this like
what
make
kind
it
of
my own.
funding would you need? I mean, you want to make stuff in 3D printers?
It's probably even more
yeah,
so they said they would be interested in this project, so
yeah,
I would
that's
just
one.
use someone's services,
Är det Mika?
as a person that says a master
Yeah.
student.
What you can do is that you can say, I want to make a master project
Ja,
for
så sista året student,
students
ikke sant? Vi har
take courses.
Yeah, I tror det.
Yeah. It's going to involve tangible supplies for blind children. And I'm going to be the sole owner of the rights for this, whatever I was going.
Ja, jag är lite överallt.
I've done that myself.
Men min huvud
Had a bunch of bachelor students.
So the students are just making the part, the technical part, basically. Because
Yeah,
let's
I
say,
mean, they work.
yeah.
So
Well,
you
you
just
can
need
talk
to go to
basically,
school about that.
Administration
I did
väldigt
apply
morsomt,
for
fordi
that.
jeg har sånn
I
bedriftsøkonomi
did need the
og
rights for that.
regnskap, men det er ikke økonomi.
Because it was
This is
so
the
many of
Nei, det er nesten som ja, det skjønner jeg, det er nesten som anvendt teknologi som ligger til IT.
It's open
Så
source.
IT er sånn som programmerer, ikke sant? Men anvendt data, sånn programmering vei, Og very tight, og med prototyping og planlegging.
Så går data, da, så det er sånn det programmering heavy.
Yeah. No, administrational is more like
usually some students,
kind of
if
bullshit.
they don't get any
Yeah,
percentage,
heavy, like the flexible use for forvaltningssted og arbeidssted.
usually
Så man må studere sånn.
will take any program.
Det kunne vi greie ut det.
I mean, if it's going to be more like a technical, solution, let's say, I'm more interested in people not telling me, let's say, what's the story going to be like, because it's still like the concept.
Men du er siste.
It's on the story, and it's
Jeg trenger ta et år til før jeg må ta opp matte.
So,
Så
yeah, I'd like to kind of have like, let's say,
Nei, jeg prøver å
goals,
bytte tid til.
make the-
Men jeg har ikke matten som det. For
have
jeg
my
gikk
own practice.
3-terminskurset for å komme inn.
So
Så skulle jeg ikke matten.
develop the
I mean,
Og så prøvde jeg å bytte over til IT, men jeg
can
har
do
ikke
it.
sett
You just need the
kravene til å
plates.
komme inn. Så jeg må ta et år til og
You
ta
can use like
bare
Ja, så du kan man jukse med det. Jeg mener at du kom inn med
Når du først er inne i systemet, så er det good, liksom. Så
So you get in and then you have this promise, I take the math in summer, I don't know how to do that. So what if you do math, but you take this with mathematics there? People can pass. Calculus you pass. What if you already passed the math, but you're not going to this 10-inch course to say,
What you actually need to do now is
ja, hvis du klarer det, så går det bra, men det er vanskelig når du ikke har det. Hvis du ikke skjønner det. Det er litt diskré matte telles ikke. Det er så
I
enkelt.
think, yeah,
Det er
it's
ikke noe
possible. And also
å gjøre.
one of the
Men
people have to
hadde jeg
find
klart
one day. I think that would
mattetusen, så hadde jeg ikke trengt å ta opp
Okay, so let's hypothetically say that you're going to make how many of
Well, it's a book for children that are
Yeah,
like
so
under 5, let's say.
how many of these do you need?
This is gonna be, well, it's not gonna be letter A, it's gonna be braille and it's gonna be illustrations. it's
So
like,
how many?
I think about at least 10, 15,
No,
20 maybe.
At this size.
Yeah, so it's,
So
I mean,
how big do you
the
need?
booking will probably be a bit bigger, but like what I need
What's
is surface-wise.
what's the surface of the book?
Ja,
It's gonna be probably A5 at least. So
Five.
it's,
it's not
okay,
easy.
let's try A4 size,
So when I,
or 20 by 20.
get a better mark,
123
so I
centimeters.
add the
Yeah.
exam
Okay, so
now.
200
But
times.
I'm thinking it's a
200.
bad idea.
Yeah, that's the maximum size of the printer actually. So
Yeah,
actually gonna to
really,
Maybe like,
I don't know where
I don't know, 18 by 18 then, because it's
we
like
can try
was nice to have
198 times one.
maybe 18 by 18 would be nice.
It's very useful if you want to actually do something
Let's
that's
try 190
but otherwise
because the maximum build area of the printer is
Yeah, I
smaller.
can see that.
Let's see, 180,
okay.
180. So 180 is what
It's a
about,
uniform
I'm
scale.
still struggling with audio.
185,
I don't think that.
185,
Yeah, I think that was the first
Okay,
one.
let's
Because
try
the guy,
200.
he was so sweet and nice. He
So
was.
that's too much.
And also his face is very detailed, but I felt
Okay,
like I'm
190.
not studying IT. I felt like, I don't know, I'm in this romantic
Stop.
environment.
Uniform
No, but it doesn't
Reading,
have to be
I don't know, book.
the 20, it can
I
be
was like,
like
what the heck?
18, 17,
Like,
so
yeah.
roughly that size. I mean,
There was
it's
like a lot
children,
of
so they
things.
don't
What?
really need
Just
big
put the
things.
point over there and stuff.
Okay, anyways, so
Also,
this
I felt like my exam, like,
this
I had
could
to
be
do
one block.
accumulate this all
right?
stuff. And also,
This is 94 grams.
Men det var matte.
So you can print, let's say, 7 of these on one roll.
Here there was, yeah,
One roll is 750 grams.
whatever.
Yeah, so this could contain 7 of those plates. And this costs 200 bucks, like 200 kroner. So for 400 kroners you can print 14 plates.
Nice.
So if I ask Evan, if we have someone who wants to make a book for blind kids and she needs 15 plates, that is around 100 grams. If she pays us 400 kroners to buy a couple of extra rolls,
Be fucking 2,000. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But for me,
Yeah.
it's just the most important thing that I don't have access to the printer.
yeah, sure, I understand. So we have to talk to her about this because this could be a project,
Yeah.
a student project. So a couple of students that take some kind of course that is related to 3D printing can use a project giver and you retain the rights. And it can also function as a kind of a copyright for you because it's it's a student project that you are the project giver for. So there's a paper trail in case someone deals you with it.
I don't
You can
know
say,
if there's
you're
enough
stealing a student
element
project,
for-
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
And here's the
for hours.
letters between the students and me and the
But
teacher.
this is something for me to think of as well when I'm going to write the project
It's
discussion,
like you
because
see
I
how
didn't really
it's
think of that as a possibility to involve someone to do that for me.
Yeah.
I would do the process of like embossing myself, but like
Yeah.
this, I really need some supervision, like because they don't really have to
You should start with trying to make something that's like a stress test for.
be for the next session maybe.
So what I can do now is let's find a picture that is similar to what you're thinking about embossing. So
Just
picture
like any kind of embossing, like medieval embossing.
okay, let's try a picture of a tree.
Yeah.
You know, like you're gonna have like a cartoon-ish.
No, I'm probably gonna have it very simple and quite straightforward because it's gonna be for visual impaired children as well.
Okay,
and for
so
their
it has to be
parents.
recognizable. So 3 vector graphics. So what kind of shape do you think then?
Whatever.
Something like this?
This is okay.
Okay, so let's take this picture. Save that as 3. Going to lithophane. How big should the tree be? Let's make it
7 centimeters high. It's gonna be okay because it's smaller lines.
let's see. Looks like it should. Okay. So this is interesting. You see that it has embossed it inside, so that's the wrong direction, right?
Can't we just like make a lower?
No. What you do now with this is you take that picture and inverse the colors.
Okay.
So I can actually let's see. You have something. There's a free tool called.
No, but I do understand. So if you're gonna explain it to me that if I inverse the colors, then it's gonna be the positive.
Just flash. Oh right, it's not flash.
It
Pixlr.
doesn't- It's fine.
Okay, so Pixlr is basically Photoshop in the browser. That I'm gonna use.
And then we had this super revolutionary idea. The next day, it's a fantasy email, and everybody
I'm just
oh,
going
those who
to
struggle to
set
get
one
here's
of
some
the
ideas you can
one tree
start.
on
And then
one
was
printer.
our
I can't
ideas
pick
and
it
what the
just so you have something to test. Because you need to test it actually works in practice. It's very important.
What was the
And I
idea?
need to know how many runs I can do with one copy.
Yeah, that was
of the-
Yes, so you need to
it's not
stress
the
test this
thing
tree
out there. We have to have this.
I think it would be wise to do that
before you go into any
Yeah.
use with us. So there we go. I have saved it inversed color.
We have to think about
Just basically just press Control I on the keyboard to inverse it.
and to make it like also like cultural friendly and stuff like that. So, and then the next day, then everybody get the emails like, oh, and special plan of food, and some people might have special needs. And exactly the list one is like, what? That was our game changer. So, of course, that wasn't that game changer. But now everyone knows.
Why does it let me? Okay, there we go.
Oh, okay, so that's
So now
one.
it should be the right direction. Yeah. So now it's
Nice.
yeah. Okay. So let's download this
I knew about this.
Oh, this is
tree.
so much easier than I thought.
No, the like actual point of it is like you can put a candle behind it and see the picture afterwards. Or like hold it up to the sky. Just like not.
No. Okay.
I think
Let's see.
I think
Yeah,
it's
it's embossed. So now I'm going to
because
3 millimeters. Let's not use uniform. Let's make it 5.
Oh, this is awesome.
Now it's 5 millimeters tall. You can see that the branches are slightly taller than the leaves.
or you could make
So I'm gonna make this a normal
candle,
20%. I'm gonna take 3 hours to print.
no, but listen.
I'm gonna make
You
this
can
in
have like stock in the line. No, but for tables.
I'm actually going to change material because
And
this
then
is almost
On
empty.
the outside, it's
The thing
completely
is also,
smooth,
I'm thinking if,
but on the inside, it's the
I mean,
ground. And then
maybe
when
you
you
don't
put
really
it,
have
like,
to
if,
print
when you
this
like
now.
light the candle, you can see your face shining through
What I
it
wanna
or
do
something
is-
like stupid.
Actually,
the
it's
sheet
very
is gonna
cool.
be like,
That's what you tried to tell me.
do you understand? It's gonna be
Yeah,
lost
that's
in
This is a
the
good idea.
paper.
So
So
you
I
can
don't
put
want
like
that
stealthy
X
message,
around
like you
it.
give it as a
No,
gift
the
to someone,
square
and they like
edge
put
should
it on,
not
and they
be
like,
there.
Alright.
There
Is
should
there
be just
anyone
like
else
a
know
form,
about
but
this?
look, you don't have to do it now.
Kickstarter.
I mean,
Yeah.
we can just stop now.
Then-
I
then-
know what I want to do, so
Then you should do something as simple as
tomorrow everyone's gonna get the
opening
email.
this STL file in.
So what is that called?
I can do that real quick.
no. It's like it's
it
also
was there in the title.
vectors. I can do that with
Yeah, yeah,
colors.
but
I know
it
that.
doesn't work with STL, so we have to do it like this. Okay,
Yeah,
so
probably
we
actually
import the
take a
tree.
picture of it, but,
Smash is too complex. Okay, so I have to simplify it.
Complex.
Anyways, what you will usually do to remove the plates, you know, the square,
Yeah.
is that you make a hollow
Yeah.
plates.
Yeah, I
To hollow it
know
out.
it's fine.
So, like
So
this,
just lower
it's
it to
gonna
the
be. So how tall is the plate? It's probably 3 mil or something.
Yeah.
You just make this hole. When you then add this into this model and save that as an STL, you will only be left with the tree.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's so nice. Thanks so much, Tobias. It's very, very good. And I'll
And,
keep in touch with you guys, and probably next time I'm gonna come in with some sort of a prototype.
Send me any information you can send me about the project, and I'll try to get you in touch with the teachers for industrial design, because it sounds to me like a relevant project for those students.
Yeah. When do they have to choose the master project?
Before January.
Yeah.
Okay,
they
still
have
got some time to do that.
Yeah.
Fuck, so I should go home and start doing something.
Yeah, try
But thanks a lot. It
try
was
to write some kind of document for rights and stuff, you know, like I hereby sign that I will not like steal this idea or whatever, something.
yeah.
Yeah, the teachers we can probably help you out with that, because the school has law department where the law people are making legal documents for project givers. Like, for example, you have companies like Kongsberg that makes weaponry,
Yeah.
where and they also can make your projects secret.
Nice.
Like student projects that are secret because they are using Kongsberg as their project manager. That's hilarious, but that happens. So you have legal people here who can help you out.
Thank you so much. It was a wonderful evening. Really great.
problem.
Thank you very much.
It's awesome. So good we've been a part of this.
Yeah.
So you had some questions?
I don't know. Yeah, I just want to print my pie case. So
Yeah. Which one? Because there are a bunch of them on Thingiverse.
yeah, I have it on my computer.
Oh yeah. Which color do you want?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, blue.
Huh?
Blue.
Yeah, color doesn't matter, and also you mentioned quality, that it should be accurate. I don't think so, because I'm planning also to cut some parts out.
Yeah.
So maybe it shouldn't be that thick.
Should you have it in high resolution then? Because this is a 0.25 nozzle, so you can make something that's more accurate than 0.4 nozzle.
Yeah.
I would use that for a Raspberry Pi case, because the Raspberry Pi case has a lot of
Maybe you have faster questions.
I have some.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
You first.
So, for example, if we want something a specific color,
Yes.
do we just change the color, or do we
Yeah,
have to ask?
I can
or-
just do that.
Okay.
As long as it's free. As long as the print is not
Okay.
used. I'm just going to check. Yeah, that's matches materials. In Cura, use the settings for 0.25 nozzle.
Okay.
Okay, have you done that?
Hmm?
Have you done that before?
I never did anything.
Okay. Should we do it now?
So, very quick, how do we judge how much filaments left compared to what we want to do?
Yes. That's a tricky question.
Like, say I want to make like this hollow thing. How, like, that wouldn't be enough, obviously, I imagine.
No. Because a lot of this will be taken up by a tube.
All right, that's okay.
But you can see how many meters. In Cura it says how many meters of material it will use when it prints. And then you can just, for example, see here,
3.5 meters.
Okay.
So this is a roll. So you go 1 meter, 2 meters.
Yeah, okay.
You can just drag it out and see how many meters there are
Okay.
on the roll and go by that. And then add a meter for the tube. Just to be
Okay.
sure. Yeah. So I usually go with meters. Because that is something you can measure by just eyesight.
Okay.
If you take out the roll. If you're unsure, just start the change material process and take the roll and okay, it's over what's going to use. So.
Thank you very much.
No problem. See you around.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Case?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
actually I have many, but yeah, you said something can be
2 parts, yes.
But when I put it into the stuff, what you mentioned, it said 8 hours.
That's fine. You can let you print what
Okay.
This one, cool. I have another one. I have actually a better one.
So this is going to be your choice. So you have to the more important that you have, the more possible there are. So what you can do in this case is
She's quite bad because you rotate it and stuff, and again, it's a very small.
do you have any cases like this where yeah.
But another one actually is more this one. And as I mentioned, I don't want that activated whatever, and that's very not that hard, because I want to build holes in there. That might help with top parts. But this is a bit chubby for the screen, and I don't have the screen. So, but I used, this case with the 3.5-inch eye, and change the date, and then I merged it with the.
You should print that part and that part. You print attached together.
Oh.
So because then you can print this and this important as it is now and this is now. So we can do that right now. We have that and that one, two separate files.
I can't really, I think I can. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that. Copy that into another one. I'm really lazy. I'm just going to put it and load it into Excel. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really lazy. I don't do it with time. Bring on Bongo 1 and 2.
Not good about the supporting stuff. I never did anything like this. I thought it would be good idea also to merge, because then it gets stuck. I mean, like one material.
So one port in the same color.
It doesn't matter.
We're going with the 3D important same color because we want to be here tomorrow to go.
And also difficult. I will cut parts out.
Yeah.
That's why it's good.
So all the screw holes has to be in either direction. So if not, they will now. So like this, and select
Yeah, that's my idea as well.
then I'll support and some and in a
But maybe make it plastic, like rubber.
We are still planning to build an home for revenue Netherlands. So this is going to take 22 hours, which is kind of over the limit. So I'm going to do there are some support. We probably have to brush it down because let's take this on the regular computer. So I'm going to get large. We can have it in blue, if it's okay. Yeah. So we can make this first, and then you can see if it's enough. Then we can take the other. So, is your SD card reader dead or something?
I don't think I even have an it's a Mac.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so we have to have it for the root. Underscore. Yeah, I have a doctor there as well. Okay, let's just adjust this. Okay.
Where is the spatula?
Spatula.
Right there.
Where is the spatula? Yeah, there is.
Is it allowed to drink coffee in here?
We are not allowed to drink or eat in here because there are some dangerous chemicals stored around this area that the school doesn't want us to drink or eat nearby. So it's a bit bad, but yeah, well.
You took your bachelor here in UR, or?
Yes.
So you know this place?
Yep.
And how it happened? You took your bachelor and I'm taking a master, and then you said I want something like this, and they said go for it, and then you get it.
Get what?
This room.
Oh yeah, actually I had to struggle a bit because I asked for a makerspace in 2013 and it just happened this summer. So.
Oh yeah, probably they printed out your mail, they put it in the end of the desk, and it took 4 years until they.
No, I mean I actually campaigned for a place like this.
Okay.
for a few years. The school didn't know what an expert was. So yeah, it took some convincing for them to see that, oh, makerspaces are kind of important.
Well, this is a pretty cool story. I never ever heard that any student achieved something like this.
I wasn't only a student.
Okay.
This was made this was achieved by a brewer. I tried to make this thing. I wasn't successful. She was able to do it. She has basically more grit than me, so she was able to convince the teachers better than me.
Is it teachers who decide, or some academy avdelning, or who decides stuff like this?
I'm not sure. There's a bunch of people that are arguing about this thing. What's your name?
Attila.
What?
Hello.
Yeah, and you can watch your prints live on Twitch if you want to. Okay, should we put first?
Should I try to do it? You're telling me what to do, and then you check it out. Yeah, but I need some my lessons, so how the heck?
I will just wait until we can the series it up.
This stuff actually is hard.
Yeah, it is. Huh. It looks like the print is fucked up. I think I just stop the stream now.